Today, AMD proves their GPUs are like fine wine, Ryzen 7000 APUs near a 3060, Nvidia's new GPU is confirmed, RX 7000 officially gets better ray tracing, and here's the GPU price you should pay based on performance. Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. First up for today, AMD just gave a ton of their old GPUs brand new life. You might call it AMD proving their GPUs are like fine wine. If you've been following the channel, you know that a little over a year ago, AMD announced that a slew of older cards had been shifted over to legacy support. This meant AMD wouldn't be releasing any new drivers for those. What sucked is that they announced it right as the GPU shortage was in full swing, so it felt like pretty terrible timing. Well, in a surprising twist and seemingly out of nowhere, AMD released a new driver for their legacy GPUs. What's wild is that it supports GPUs as far back as a decade with their HD 7000 series. Unfortunately, we don't really know what it does exactly, so if you're rocking one of these older GPUs, let me know if you notice any performance improvements down in the comments below. There are a couple known issues with the driver, so be on the lookout for those as well. But if you're still using one of AMD's older generations of GPUs, I definitely suggest installing the update. Next, I've got an amazing deal just for my viewers with the place I went to build my first ever PC, Micro Center, and they've sponsored today's video so I can tell you all about it. First, if you've never been to a Micro Center, it's basically the ultimate PC hardware store. They've got everything, tons of PC cases, AMD and Intel CPUs, actual rows of motherboards, SSDs, and even custom water cooling. But the best part is the whole going to Micro Center, because they're actual physical stores all over the country, so you can see what you're getting and get it right then. It's why I've driven hours just to visit my closest store. And today they're offering $25 off any AMD or Intel CPU when you visit my link in the description. Plus you'll get a coupon for even more off your next in-store purchase when you submit your build and get it approved in Micro Center's Build Showcase. Just check those out in the description below. Next up for today, we get our first big leak on AMD's Ryzen 7000 APUs. The story comes from leaker Reg Gaming Tech, where he goes over both Dragon Range and Phoenix. First up is Dragon Range, which are apparently set to be AMD's high-performance mobile processors. These are essentially their Ryzen 7000 desktop CPUs and go-in enthusiast laptops. So they aren't the rumored APUs with a huge integrated GPU, and that explains why it uses DDR5 instead of LPDDR5. These come with up to 16 cores and RDNA 2 graphics. What's wild is that depending on TDP, they can apparently get up to 5 GHz plus. Next is AMD's more traditional APU range called Phoenix. These are expected to come with fewer cores than their Dragon range at up to 8, but they actually get RDNA 3. One thing different from earlier rumors is that they're set to only get up to 12 CUs, which is the same as last gen. But according to this, the higher end APU could get performance about at a mobile RTX 3060. Remember that we're talking an APU here, so an integrated GPU, meaning AMD is planning to obliterate lower end GPUs with their next gen APUs. Let's just say I can't wait until these come to desktop. Next up, we have official confirmation that Nvidia's upcoming GPU, the GTX 1630, is real and coming. Of course, we've discussed Nvidia's new low-end GPU before, but it's been delayed a couple times at this point. Well, in a new report from Video Cards, the GPU maker Colorful actually had the GPU listed on their website. Since the report went out, they have taken it down, but of course, it proves the GPU is real. Not only that, but Video Cards actually showed renders of the upcoming Colorful card. According to some leakers online, the GPU is expected to be released tomorrow for $150 US. And for updates on that, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon. Next up, WCCF Tech noticed something that a ton of outlets missed from AMD's Financial Analyst Day 2022. Remember that this is where we got confirmation from AMD that their RX 7000 cards are set to launch with an MCM design, as well as an expected 50% higher performance per watt and more. While discussing RDNA 3, AMD's Senior VP of Engineering at their Radeon Technologies Group, David Wang, stated, quote, And another innovation includes architected compute units with enhanced ray tracing capabilities and an optimized graphics pipeline with even faster clock speeds and improved power efficiency. Of course, we've already heard that next-gen gets faster clocks, and of course that improved efficiency. But this also confirms that AMD's next-gen GPUs are set to get improved ray tracing performance. We've been hearing this for a little while, but this confirms it. While AMD's RX 6000 cards were their first to offer hardware ray tracing support, that was one area that Nvidia really excelled at, so maybe AMD's next-gen can finally catch up. Of course, Nvidia's RTX 4000 cards are likely to see improvements in ray tracing as well, so time, as always, will tell. And lastly for today, given GPU prices are finally getting to reasonable levels, a really interesting story goes over what you actually should be paying for GPUs based on comparing their performance. The story originally comes from 3dcenter.org, the site that's kept up with the wild GPU prices since they started getting out of hand over a year ago. Well, in a new post using their 4K performance index, they compare Nvidia and AMD's newest cards to determine what the real price should be. I think this is really helpful because both AMD and Nvidia release cards with much higher MSRP than they likely would have if the GPU shortage wasn't here. So getting an idea of what performance you're getting for your money is a great comparison. For example, according to this, the 3080 Ti should cost $731 instead of the $1,199 MSRP. Of course, as you get towards the high end, you always get diminishing returns, so even without the pandemic, these could easily be around there. But when we move down, we can see that the 3050 should be $228 instead of $250, while the 3060, which was released much earlier, is right at where it should be. In fact, the 3060 and 3070 are the only cards priced at their performance. The 6800 XT is actually the best priced card out of AMD's GPUs, with its performance just 1% away from where it should be for the price. Overall, these charts give you a very good idea of what you're getting with your money when you buy a new GPU. So while that does it for today, are you still trying to buy a current gen GPU, or are you just waiting for next gen? Let me know down in the comments below. And definitely make sure to check out Micro Center down in the description below. And as always, have a great day.